We're back on the podcast today, and we want to talk about something that is super fun, super interesting, and that is that we just had the Super Bowl here, obviously in America, Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. And during this Super Bowl game, you may have noticed if you're watching it that there was a ton of ads. Everyone's always looking out for them, but specifically we saw some from Microsoft covering AI. Now, there's a bunch of interesting things I want to talk about with Microsoft and Google and AI and the Super Bowl. But I want to kick this over to Jamie, who was watching live and thought that, he saw the Microsoft ad and he wanted to give you his take on it.
Yeah, well, one thing, I think they did an amazing job turning this ad into turning AI and giving it the perspective that it's something that everyone can use, not just like CEOs or people in the tech world, but that it's something for everybody. I thought they were really smart to go by that angle. So it showed like a lot of different scenes of like younger people who had these aspirations of like starting businesses or writing plays or, getting their degrees, and then kind of just showed different ways that AI could help them do that. I thought it was, really smart. And then if you go to the Copilot website, has really kind of like relatable things you could use AI for, such as create an image for my fantasy football team featuring an animal wearing a football helmet. So they could, make your little team logo for your fantasy team, or tell me a joke about falling in love. Quiz me on organic chemistry. So like, almost like a tutor type thing. So like a lot of different really relatable stuff. Jaden, what did you think about their angle?
I think this is great. I'm always excited to see what the latest Super Bowl commercials are because my background's in marketing. So like my whole life, even with like living in Canada, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. And I would literally just go on afterwards and be like Super Bowl ads and look them up because I've always just been in advertising and marketing, so it's always been interesting to me. So I'm excited to see. I feel like you kind of get a flavor of what the latest like thing everyone is interested in talking about from the ads on the Super Bowl. Of course, you always get car commercials and stuff, but you definitely get like new ones. In the past, we saw a lot of crypto ads when we were at the peak of like the crypto hype, and it seems like those have petered off, and now we're seeing like AI ads and different things. So it's kind of interesting, and I think that Microsoft did a really good job on putting that ad together and kind of their angle there. Now, well, I think they did a great job on the advertisement. I do think that there's a little controversy from Microsoft in regards to the Super Bowl and AI, and also Google, and that is that if you try, so of course like they're promoting their Copilot and Google's promoting their Gemini, but both of them were caught making up fake statistics about the Super Bowl if you actually ask them about it before the game was over. So there was someone that they did this on both Gemini and Copilot. So on Gemini, they said, what are the odds of the 2024 Super Bowl, right? This is before it happened. But what was interesting is it said, as of today, February 11th, 2024. So someone was asking like before the game actually happened. And then it says, the Super Bowl already happened. It took place yesterday, February 10th. And the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 34-28. So like, I have no idea. Like, I know we talk about AI hallucinations, but like, I don't really understand this because Google's supposed to be like if you Google who won the Super Bowl, they have like a little graphic at the top with the stats. Like, they get the real-time data and they incorporate it into their search. I don't understand how they're not able to like incorporate that same thing into like their AI thing. Like, oh, it's like hasn't happened yet. Like, you can find that in 2 seconds on Google, and somehow their Gemini model is like, it's also oddly specific. Like, it knows what day it is. Why does it think it was yesterday? And then like, why does it not say, I don't know. It just like makes it up like, nope, 49ers won. Okay, so, and then of course it's like, therefore it's no longer possible to bet on the 2024 Super Bowls. The outcome's already been determined. Okay, so that's just like the weirdest gaslighting ever. And I do think that it actually goes down. It's like final spread. The 49ers were favored by 2 points and they ended up winning by 6 points. The final over under the total points scored was 46, which went over the pre-game line of 47.5. Like, it was oddly specific in all of the stats and analytics and like whatever. It was just like all fake. So I think that's a problem. So that's one side of it that's funny. Then the other thing that I think is interesting is if you ask Microsoft Copilot, right? And I think like this isn't that shocking, right? They had a $7 million ad in the Super Bowl. You'd think that their Copilot would be good at it. If you ask it, it also said the San Francisco 49ers emerged victorious in the Super Bowl held in Las Vegas. They secured a hard-fought win against the Kansas City Chiefs with a final score of 24-21. The Niners, getting their first title since 1994, managed to silence doubters and clinch the championship. Anyways, and then it even talks about like their quarterback who replaced Jimmy, played a crucial role in the victory. Like, it was like oddly specific. What's your take on this, Jamie? Like, these models are literally advertised in the Super Bowl, and they're making up fake stats about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that is going to be a problem moving forward, especially just because I've read some news in the past week here about some stock market GPTs that are coming out. So if you can't, trust, Copilot to give you the correct Super Bowl results, how are you going to trust it to make, stock market predictions or news for you? I'm not going to be the first one to sign up for that. So I think with some of these, they still need to nail down the current, be able to call current information, and not just make up a, an answer for something. So this is kind of interesting though, because I was playing around with Copilot a little bit, and it allows you to upload images, and so I uploaded my own image, and I asked if it could edit it for me, and it said no. It told me it couldn't, but it gave me 6 different sources of different ways to either learn to edit photos or different tools. And so I thought that was kind of cool. That's almost like working in a Google search to AI, which I think is, really the way to go, especially for the common folk, as they were kind of advertising to, moving forward. I think, so this is interesting. I found that Microsoft is declaring 2024 to be the year of the AI PC, and they have already been adding Copilot key to their keyboards. So they want to kind of integrate this to even their hardware, and make it, accessible to everybody. So, super interesting stuff.
Yeah, I will say it's also interesting, as someone that has a Windows computer. My keyboard, I have obviously not just like a regular Microsoft keyboard. I got the, not sponsored, but the Logi MX mini keys. This thing's the greatest keyboard of all time. Tried like 10 different keyboards. This is the winner. But on my actual Windows, in the search bar, I noticed they have added a Copilot logo. When I click it, it just opens up the search bar. And I guess you got to click another button to try to get the actual... Anyways, they're creating like a shortcut for this Copilot, and it's very integrated. This is a brand new thing that has popped up. So I'm assuming this is sort of in like collaboration. It might have come a couple days before the Super Bowl, but it's pretty much, I'm assuming, they like got this on, they do their big Super Bowl push, and now everyone recognizes that Super Bowl ad, and they're seeing this key this like button right on their computer. So yeah, it seems like Microsoft is really going at it and trying to go hard at integrate it in. And I think that's why it's kind of funny to me that, their Copilot wasn't able to accurately answer facts about the Super Bowl. And you might think like, oh, no AI models can. Well, wait till I tell you what ChatGPT answered in regards to that. But before I do that, before I give you the grand reveal about what ChatGPT said about the Super Bowl, the reason that we're bringing this up for anyone that's listening on the AI Hustle podcast is because this is really, really important that when you are making business decisions for your side hustles, when you're starting businesses, when you're writing articles, when you're using this to source stuff, like, it's really important to fact check the information coming out of the AI models. And beyond that, like, find the best AI model that gives you the best result. You will get different results from different AI models. So that's probably my like biggest takeaway from this whole, gaffe or whatever you want to call it, is like, find the best tool, because not all of them are created equal. Just because Microsoft and Google have hundreds of $1 trillion valuations doesn't necessarily mean that their products are going to be perfect. So in kind of summary on all of that, they asked the same question: who won the 2024 Super Bowl, to ChatGPT on GPT-4, I'll say. And its response was, as of the latest update from the NFL's official site, the 2024 Super Bowl between the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs was still ongoing. No winner has been declared yet. For the latest updates on the game outcomes, please check the most recent news or the NFL's official website. ChatGPT did a good job. Like, you got to give it to them, man. Like, literally, Microsoft's Copilot is running on GPT-4, and yet they don't. And it's funny because GPT-4 is using Browse with Bing, so they're literally using Microsoft's like Browse feature, and they literally are giving better results than Microsoft, who has the exact same technology. I think that says a lot about the company running the model is actually important.
That's funny. But I will say this too. I mean, back to the Super Bowl ad part of it, their marketing is really good. And I feel like there's something to be said about mass adoption, with marketing. Like, OpenAI may be a better tool, but if the marketing, is better, they could position themselves and become like the main, AI tool. So
Yep.
yeah, it's anybody's game at this point. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how 2024 plays out.
100%. If you enjoyed this episode of AI Hustle, make sure to leave us a review. It makes us super, super happy. We read them all. We will be responding to reviews soon on the podcast, so we appreciate it. Make sure to drop us. If you have a question, drop it as a review, and we'll make sure to get to those. So hope you all have an amazing rest of your day.